Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? It is T90 back with another Age of Empires 2 cast. My goodness, is this one special. You've seen the title, you've seen a lot of titles like this recently, and TheViper is back, and he's in good form. I played some games this week. I was telling my stream I was really excited to see the form that he was in, and he's here again in the red this time, not yellow, and he is playing as the Mayans. He's facing off against Hera. Hera's in the green, and Hera's playing as the Britons. Viper always has had a good record versus Hera, but Hera is one of the fastest players out there, just like the Viper, so this will be a very good game for us. Now, a few things I want to get out of the way. As you can see, this is a YouTube-only cast. There will be a lot more of this over the next few months. It took me about a month to get settled in my new place. I moved over 1,000 miles away from where I grew up, and it took a lot more time than I thought to really feel comfortable here and get everything sorted. So, I'm back, basically. Not that I ever left, but I'm back in business with YouTube-only content, whether that's casts, and now I have an editor, so different edited videos and such. Also, you've probably seen some recent news about Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. I will have a video on that within a week or so. But Microsoft announced that the release date is November 4th. November 14th. So I will also have a lot of content on YouTube and on Twitch with that as well. So exciting times for Age of Empires 2 fans. But back to this game. Viper, he has Mayans. And normally what you'd see in very serious and competitive events is the Mayan player would try and get to plumed archers in this matchup. Mayans do have very strong crossbow options. However, that's what Britons excel with. So if Mayans go crossbows in this matchup, Britons get that additional range that we're so familiar with. So that wouldn't be the best thing for Mayans to do. So normally, and like I said, in big tournaments, not rated games, Viper would probably go aggressive, probably go to stone, and get to those plumed archers, because plumed archers are very mobile archer, they're cheap, and also they have higher pierce armor than a normal archer, so they can survive better against crossbows. In this matchup, though, Viper is going to try to do something which is so incredibly difficult versus a player like Hera, who's currently in the top 10 of the world, and that is the Obsidian arrow tech. And the Obsidian arrow tech, which we'll talk a lot more about once we get there, is a technology that gives regular archers more damage against buildings. I believe it's +6 damage versus buildings. Viper's tried it before and failed. Viper's tried it before and been successful. Many players have done it. However, this situation is not going to make it easy for Viper, but he's going to try it, and my goodness, is it going to be interesting. So we should probably talk about the maps as the players are going through their Dark Age builds. Viper has a very exposed front of his base. Gigantic hill here, there's a gold, there's a stone, and while the back of his base is nice because he has 2 golds, this is still quite open. He would have to wall all the way over here, he would have to wall the front, he would have to wall the north, there's a lot of walling. So it's an exposed map, and same could be said for Hera, but remember, Hera will have Briton crossbows if he gets to Castle Age. That's 8 range, Viper won't really have much of a response to that, especially against a player like Hera. So, we'll see. I don't want to spoil too much, but the point is while Viper tries this strategy, he's putting himself at a huge disadvantage for it. So, talking about Hera's map, his map is probably much worse, to be honest. The big thing I see is that he doesn't have back resource options, specifically back wood options, as he does have this gold and stone. The main gold is pretty far forward, and then the secondary gold here, and even the stone, all are going to be problem areas for him. But we'll see him start off and be aggressive, and he's making a barracks now. Both players are thinking of getting to feudal age, and probably going for man-at-arms. You see Viper's building his at the same time. If you're newish to the community, you probably haven't heard as much about Hera. Hera, I always get this wrong, but he'll forever be 14 in my eyes, no offense, Hera. When I first started casting Age of Empires 2, he was 14 and number 1 on the ladder. In fact, Viper was not playing at that time. He took a year off. So, pretty incredible talent, and he has a lot of time for the game right now. So, I'm excited to see what his future is with the amount of speed he has. Because once you get to the APM of Hera and Viper, it's purely decision-making and mindset. I think he's 18 now, though, but, exciting times for him in the future with Age of Empires 2. Shoot, I feel like I was going to say something else about him. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have time to talk. But guys, don't look away, seriously. I know, you might only have 15 minutes to watch this. You might be on lunch break, or you might have already fallen asleep, because a lot of people fall asleep to my videos, apparently. But trust me, this whole game is brilliant, and this is one moment which is going to start it off for Hera, and perhaps get very interesting. I don't know what that villager was doing. Maybe that villager was meant to build an archer range, but Viper is here. Now, if you know Viper, he started this whole quick wall shenanigans, and Hera's trying to wall in his villagers to save it, while at the same time he's attacking Viper's berries. So both players have their villagers exposed. Hera walls in his villager, just like Viper's known for. And we just missed it, but there's a dead body right behind the mill there. So Hera did get a reward for his aggression, and instantly, Viper's bad map, the berries on the hill, starts to make things very complicated for him. It's awkward when that happens, when both players go man-at-arms, but they pass each other. You have to rely on walls, mainly. And now Viper is hoping to wall. Has done so. Now Hera's scout is a bit weak, the man-at-arms are a bit weak. Viper will make some archers, as will Hera. I guess Hera's villager is still idle here. But he did wall in. You can see just how much they had to do. He had to wall 3 areas of his eco. Also is microing with his units. I say micro, but he ran into more TC fire there. This game is one of the few games, or one of the rare games, sorry, where you will get to see just how fast these players are from a spectator point of view. I won't put it on view lock or anything, because you'll probably get dizzy. But trust me when I say that this game is ridiculously high APM, and it's beautiful to watch. So both players will have to micro their low numbers of archers and hit and run, hit and run. It's 1 kill, 1 death for both of them. Hera does not have a villager lead, actually. It's all evened up 26 apiece. Both are on 1 range. Both are focusing on eco. Viper has actually gone to the north here to mill the deer. It's something that pro players should probably do more often. A lot of pros choose to push in the deer, and Viper's decided to build a mill up there. Which is fine. That's 600... Wait, quick math here. It's just under 600 food that he gets. Now, he needs to be careful, of course, because Hera's still lurking around, and Viper doesn't have this area walled off. Hera has walled up his resources, and Viper's now sending his man-at-arms and eagle back, I assume. Probably to track these things down. Well, he's built a gate here, Viper. And no, he's deleted the gate. You know what? He's patrolling his archers on this side, so I'm going to assume he thought Hera was somewhere else and wanted those resources back. Unlucky for Viper, and beautiful micro from Hera. Look at that, even keeping the weak scout alive. Kills a villager and takes the lead with the eco. Viper still has a villager around here. This is the only thing... Oh, wow, the deer's been killed. Okay. So that's one less deer that Viper can eat. But yeah, anyhow, a small eco lead for Hera at the moment. Nice stuff from him. And this is where you start to realize, oh boy, Hera's a good player. His eco is kind of on par with Viper's. There's no way that Viper can get to what he needs to get Obsidian arrows. And I'm just going to talk you through this as Hera runs in with a small army. Which Viper will probably kill, by the way, because he has his own army coming in. Because you need to know this. You need to know how expensive it is to get to Obsidian arrows. For Obsidian arrows, you need probably 3 archer ranges to produce crossbows, because you need a lot of them. You then need a castle. You need the resources for crossbow. You need the resources for bodkin arrow. You need the resources for Obsidian arrows. Then keep in mind that you need the 3 ranges, all the units. It's ridiculously expensive. And the only way that you can justify doing it, again, great work from Viper here to track this army. Really the only way that you can justify doing it is by going all in 1 TC. If you've watched pro games before, you know the importance of economy. And for Viper to try this, it has to be YOLO. And that's what we'll see. And Hera, he's doing alright here. He has more food in the bank. He's making archers. His archers, when they're crossbows in Castle Age, will have 8 range. Viper's crossbows will only have 7 range. So I'll talk more about that investment, and it'll be more clear to you once the time comes. Normally I try and prevent discussing things that are going to happen in the future, but there's no way around it. You guys already saw the title of the video. So some of my casts when I'm casting live, some of my casts when I'm casting live, then I have to kind of adapt my commentary to what's going on, but small spoiler with this one, so I figured I'd get ahead of the game and talk about it. Now, Hera tried this earlier. He tried to send a small army out to Viper's base. And now he's doing it again. This is what I would consider China style, where you tower at home and wall at home, and then counterattack. So you figured your walls and your towers will keep you safe from whatever Viper sends your way. Now, it's a risky move. Hera has patrolled his army here into Viper's house, though. So Viper, he at least sees this is coming. Hera is on the way to Castle Age significantly faster. He did lose a villager in the process, so it wasn't as clean as he would have wanted. Now, I think he killed one of Viper's villagers. I think this is a risky time to go forward for Hera, because the last thing you want to do is lose archers before they are upgraded. So it might be smart to go back, especially when he's attacked so many of these houses, and he's obviously killed something in Viper's base, so Viper's reacted to this. Yeah, this is no bueno, if you ask me, for Hera. He really needs to get these crossbows out of here, and he is. And at the same time, he has to quick wall and defend here. It's awkward micro for both of them. But this is Hera's only wood line that's close by to him, so if he doesn't want to relocate a lumber camp, yeah, this is rough. And also, these archers can't do anything until they are upgraded to crossbows. So good pressure from Viper because he still hasn't clicked up to the next stage yet. And honestly, good micro from Hera as well, and good decision to run back. Good decision to hop into the tower there. I just hate this wood. It's rough to see so many villagers getting hit. Half of his villagers aren't collecting resources properly because of all that pressure. So because of that pressure, Viper will hopefully have some time to control things at home and mass military. It's a struggle though, and again, he's not going into plumes. He's on stone right now to get a castle eventually, but he's not going into plumed archers. And Hera, who has some of the best micro in the game, will have 8 range crossbows. Now, the downside for Hera at the moment is because he built the tower in the stone wall, he doesn't have stone for that next TC. And that's another bonus Britons can take advantage of in Castle Age. Their TCs are cheaper, so he could take a bit of an eco lead. But Viper realizes he needs to hold this hill, so he's building a tower here. This is not ideal. A good micro from him to keep his villagers alive, but he's still not in Castle Age. He had to build the tower here on his stone as well. Only 238 stone for Viper. 3 archer ranges, guys, so 175 times 3, then all the wood and gold you need to produce the archers. But the towers will defend Viper for now. And another thing I need to remind you of, Mayans have an insane eco, their resources last 10% longer, and also their archers are cheaper. So Viper ends up in Castle Age, he's getting crossbow himself. The populations are very even, 59 population for Viper and 62 for Hera. Now, this is where the cheap town centers start paying off for Britons. And this is how you would normally play the game at the high level. Hera's making archers, he's adding a second TC. It's all about expanding eco and making military at the same exact time. Yet again, I guess Hera didn't spot Viper's army, so he was worried and went home. But he's sending crossbows forward for a small attack. It's funny how Viper has played this so open on the front. You realize this? He built houses here, and that's the second time that Hera has patrolled his army right into the houses. So it gives Viper a heads up on what's going on. And with Town Watch, he can see everything here as well. So he built a tower on his gold to defend. This is similar to what Hera did earlier, using a tower and walls to defend and sending his army forward now. But keep an eye on the Vill count, guys. Now, I haven't actually seen the game from a spectator point of view. I was watching both players' point of views at the time. So, I'm curious to see what the Vill difference will end up being like. Now there's Hera using his 1 additional range. And Viper is trying to get in close enough to take shots. And as Viper arrives on this side, Hera is there waiting for him. So it's good that Hera sent his military back. 3rd TC for Hera. Did snipe one of Viper's crossbows just because of the range. See this micro? He's denying farms. This is good pressure from Hera. He's also tracking down this army. So anytime Viper wants to take a fight, Hera is going to hit him a few times before he runs in. And already the Vil difference is beginning to really show itself to us. 52 versus 46. Hera's also making a university. Now, I think Hera's economy is weaker than he would want. Both players actually have a lot of T90 farms. So I'm not sure that his TCs are producing Vils at all times, actually. The top left shows you he's only creating 2 Vils out of 2 TCs right now, so a bit of idle time. And that's not something that pros normally would like. But Viper simply can't afford a second town center. He has to go all in with 1 TC. He doesn't have the resources for Obsidian arrows yet. He did get Thumb Ring, which is a nice tech. And that was some miraculous micro from him there. Oh, he sucked Hera in! Oh, that was beautiful. Hera was attacking the 1 crossbow, figured he would kill it, and Viper ran back. Good stuff. 58 villagers versus 48 villagers now. So again, Hera has all of this military. He has, in my opinion, he has to be utilizing it a little bit more. Possibly he's too hesitant at the moment. He's about to complete ballistics. These skirmishers aren't upgraded, so might as well fight this, and Viper runs off that goal. Just look how exposed Viper's base is. Look how messy this eco is. This strategy is really only possible with Mayan eco in combination with the cheap archers. Viper has 4 ranges to produce crossbows from. Just barely afforded Obsidian arrows, and here he comes. So at this point in time, because of the strategy choice, which Viper understands is extremely YOLO, Viper is 20 population behind. He's behind in military by 1, and he's also heavily behind in economy. But he arrives to Hera's base, and there will be some insane damage output from these crossbows. It really is overpowered. Like, there's no... I think they need to give it to a different civ. Or just change how strong it is. Viper decides to just shoot farms on the way in. And Hera, he hasn't done enough at Viper's base. He's probably frustrated Viper's been able to defend with walls and a few towers. He has to come back. Now, Viper has more numbers here, so he can run in and close the gap. But remember, as he tries to do this, Hera has 1 more range. So with proper micro, Hera will just hit and run, hit and run, hit and run. And the KD is slightly better for Hera, and it's crazy how he's able to hold off these crossbows with so few for himself. Now this is the point in the game where you begin to realize just how quick Viper is, and I want to show you this. See, in normal games, Viper, he's focusing on the extra TCs. And so he'll normally just have like 1 or 2 armies, max. He has 2 armies now, but look at how they're being controlled. He hit the wood line here. He's also patrolling into a fight on this side. Oh, a Mangonel was created by Hera that instantly gets shot down. Viper loses his main army though, but he's making more. It's constant production from him. 1 TC, 20 Vils behind, constant production, and the Obsidian arrows is paying off with the Siege Workshop. He'll probably kill, yeah, he'll kill the Siege Workshop before that Mangonel is even created. So Viper has to keep Hera on the move. He has to keep him on the run. And here he goes again. An army to the right, a fight on the hill. None of these fights are ideal for Viper. Hill is probably as good as it's gonna get, but Hera's using the Britain range to perfection. More kills for Hera, more Vils for Hera, 22 more Vils to be exact. And at this point, if I would have been casting this live, and I remember watching it live, I was thinking, this is just not gonna work. Hera has more eco. Hera even has a castle to secure this side of his base. Just don't see how this can work. Viper probably shouldn't have tried this against Hera, right? Right? Well, every time that Hera kills one army, Viper arrives with the next, and he's hitting perfect positions. Hera has a gold and a stone here. Hera's just had to leave all of that. There's also a gold on the right, remember. Viper's collecting that. So Viper's fighting here, and as he takes this engagement, which he'll eventually lose, he's gaining more of the map, and he's on top of Hera's archery ranges. Killing more crossbows, evening out that KD. Now, Hera's running around so much that I'm not even sure those 30 extra villagers are working efficiently enough. Whereas Viper's eco is untouched at home. It might not be the prettiest, it might not be that many villagers, but Viper's picking off fills, forcing Hera to react. Now, this is just beautiful. Viper knows about the gold spots, and he sees it with the crossbow. Now, Hera reacted in time, but there's too many areas for Hera to focus on. Now watch this, guys. This is truly incredible. He's killed the siege workshop here already. He'll kill 2 archery ranges. He's also microing this 1 crossbow. He's also on this side where he sees this neutral gold. And he's building ranges on the right-hand side. So if this guy counts as an army, there's 3 armies currently, and there will be more for Viper. The benefit of not having to focus on extra TCs, I guess. The Britons do lack thumb rings, so if it's equal numbers and Hera's not using that range, Viper's crossbows will actually be better in the fights. And it does get complicated for Hera to use that range, I guess. Hera kills that finally. 96 villagers for Hera and 61 for Viper. But Hera is just reacting. He sees Vipers on the left. Now watch this. This is beautiful army movement. Sees he's on the left. Arrives to the left. Viper sees the crossbows. The immediate reaction has to be to go in elsewhere because Hera has sent his whole army here. That's what the immediate reaction should be. So here he comes, and here he comes. So this... I mentioned earlier that watching player point of views would make you dizzy. Watching Viper's army movement and Hera's response is going to make you dizzy. Another building goes down. That time it was the market for Hera. He's arriving to kill this, and he's sending Machinels to kill this, but he lost another archer range. These buildings are melting. Hera's losing farms. Hera could lose more ranges. This Obsidian arrow tech is ridiculous. And Viper is sending more crossbows into gold at the same time. He built these archery ranges just to deny the gold. Hera can't collect gold right now. Viper has 2 armies. They are split up. And Hera has that little dimple, that little hill. So I think with Thumb Ring, this might be a fight that Viper could still take. But it's something to consider. It's a scary situation for him, right? Viper has 56 military. He's flooding the map with military. Here there's 2 Machinels. Now, Viper, this is where focusing on so many different areas hurts Viper, right? Now, he'll probably lose these crossbows now, but he's almost about to kill this town center. There's military everywhere. Like, Hera is not a bad player. He's a top 10 player, and he's getting completely flexed on at the moment. Viper's attacking the TC, Hera reacts. Viper goes in and says, oh cool, I'll kill your tower. And Hera is on the way to the Imperial Age. It's not this town center, by the way, it's this one, so he will get there. But at this point, you've got to be wondering, and he's got to be wondering, will the extra range even save me? He's forced to build a castle on this back gold with 3 villagers. Look at the army numbers. It's nuts. 60. Wait for it. Oh, are we gonna have the 69-69? Oh, 69 villagers is 69 military. It's the perfect game. Nice. Viper has more military now than he does villagers. Of course he stopped at 69 to research handcarded his TC. And still, he's pushing in on both sides. And Hera's reacting. Hera collected 2 relics earlier. That was some precious gold income for him. That monastery will die to arrow fire. These villagers, they will die because Hera cannot be in 3 places at once. Look again. Viper sees the crossbows, he runs away, and he'll move right in with his other armies. It's crazy. I've been here before. I've played against a micro nerd before. Maybe not Viper. Well, I have, but thank God he didn't Obsidian arrow me. Like, I know what this feels like. And poor Hera is being run around in circles. He's building an outpost here, I guess, so he could see any potential raids. But look, he reacts with his crossbows there, kills that. Viper has more where that came from. He has Castle Age crossbows. And he's melting TCs. He'll even melt the blacksmith. Hera's researching Bracer there. Oh my god, that was close, but Hera does complete the Bracer tech, thankfully. So the KD is actually looking great for Hera, but Viper's able to afford so many crossbows because they're so cheap, and because he's not investing into eco. It's beautiful. Oh my god! And Viper sat underneath the castle to deny the Goldvilles! And now it's 96 villagers for 69. The 69s are showing up everywhere. Viper's on the way to Imp. 4 times the amount of military as Hera. Hera has 10 range crossbows now. So I think with 3 range more, it should be better for Hera. But Viper's still just moving around with his army. We know what will happen here. He hasn't been touched all game. He's wide open. He's not worried about that. He's just making military. Making military and pressuring the right areas at all times. Now, Hera has really been desperate for gold over the last 20 minutes of this game. This gold has been harassed non-stop. In fact, there's still 1 crossbow there doing work. There's more gold down here. That's a neutral. Viper sees it. Viper sees that. Viper has that other gold on the right. Anytime Hera goes to a resource, Viper's there. And now Hera arrives to harass Viper. The first time that this has happened since early Castle Age. And Viper has a new wave of military moving in. 108 crossbowmen. He has more crossbows than Hera does villagers. Just needs his Impetex now. 30 military versus 100. And if you thought these things were crazy before, just wait until they're upgraded in Imp. Nikov, when discussing balance changes, once said, "There's no reason that Mayans should get bombard arbalest." Basically saying that these things are better than Siege, or as good as Siege. And they are. It is extremely overpowered, and it's been given to one of the strongest civs in the game. The houses are melting. This will actually house Hera if he's not careful. He has to rebuild houses so he's population space. The farms are melting. And Viper, he's at 116 military now. He's mixing in some rams. Rams are always the death of Britons. I'm not sure the rams are even necessary, but if the rams arrive, they'll kill buildings and they cannot be stopped. Not by the extra ranged arbalest. Hera still can't hit Viper because Viper's always there. He always has the numbers. And Hera cannot stop this. His university's researching chemistry. He'll lose the chemistry upgrade if Viper focuses that down. Here, Viper might not have the range, but he has the numbers to clean this up. Oh, come on, Viper. It has 5 HP. The university has 5 HP. 1 hit! 1 hit and you deny chemistry, Viper? That's alright, we'll cut him some slack. He's been busy. Oh, you know what? Chemistry completes at the time that Hera calls GG. The game is over. What a ridiculous game. Obsidian arrows are insane. Now, I don't think that my casting in this game did Viper's army movement justice, but it was a beautiful thing to watch. And that is the beauty of one town center play, actually. The beauty of one town center play is you're not investing tons of wood and food and all these different resources and your focus into the economy. Viper could afford 5 ranges because he didn't go 3 TCs. So I guess he ended up having, what, 8 ranges? 8 range production? Yeah, but the point is he could focus on the army movement, he could focus on the army creation, whereas Hera relied on the extra eco. And Hera's eco did get him to imp faster, did get him more vills, but it never gave him the army numbers he needed to deal with Viper. There were a few moments in Castle Age where Hera probably should have done more with his bonus. Possibly going elite skirm would have been better than crossbows. It's hard to say because Viper played this near perfectly, but there was a period of 3 or 4 minutes where Hera was just running around Viper's base. Viper just had 1 tower, and Hera ended up running back. So hard for him to know, but maybe he could have dove underneath that tower. Maybe he could have gone to the lumber camp. Viper really had no protection at his base whatsoever. In fact, he didn't wall at all either. But Viper would go to the left, then Hera would respond, Viper would arrive on the right, and Viper had those gold spots controlled. It was a beautiful sight. So I'll pull up the achievements now. I'm curious what this is going to end up being. We knew the KD, 230 kills for Hera. Had more kills, but Viper just created more. 116 largest army. Verse 41. So, oh, you have more range, I have more numbers. Frickin' Mayans, man. 16,000 food for Hera, 23,000 wood. He had more stone as well, but he did not have the gold spots. Maybe if Hera would have walled more, it would have helped, but then again, Viper could have destroyed the walls with his Obsidian arrow archers. Guys, Viper is back, and he's in good form. I know that he was also in the process of moving. I believe he moved from Norway to Germany. And I casted him a few days ago on the live stream, none of which will go to YouTube, but his form is looking really, really good again. So it's nice to see that he's getting settled. It's nice to see that he's a bit more active, and I'm excited to see more Viper games in the future. Look at this timeline. Look how much dark red is there. That's crazy. It's not often you see a timeline like this and then see the person with less eco come out on top. Masterclass of a game from TheViper. So I've asked this before on YouTube, and I'm going to ask it again. If you guys have interest in a playlist like TheViper Plays or TheViper Tries, something like that where I highlight different strategies that Viper goes for in rated games that might be non-meta, let me know, please. And also, I've requested this before, but I was in the process of moving. If you would possibly have interest in helping me out with forming these YouTube playlists, because I do have over 900 videos, I'm looking to get a couple people together to help me out with that. And just let me know. I would follow me on Twitter, shoot me a tweet, and I'll DM you, and we can sort things out. Apologies in advance if I don't respond to you, because I might get a lot of responses. Big things to come for the Age of Empires community, guys, and some awesome uploads coming to YouTube. So thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoy the content, and I'll see you next time.